Y'all, it's another gorgeous day in South Louisiana. Darla, real estate agent with Real Broker. Back in 2017, I was the technology supervisor for all of Acadia Parish School Board. Prior to that, I had taught for 4 years. And I was then after that a curriculum administrator into amazing rural schools in Acadia Parish. And growing up as a child, really, when you grow up in a rural setting, there's just not a whole lot of exposure to all the different careers that are outside your realm of existence. And so as a child growing up in the country, I saw teachers, I saw nurses, I saw doctors and lawyers, and didn't really know anything else. But growing up at the school I went to, our principal was a woman. And so I always admired her, always wanted to be just like her. So when I got into education, I knew I didn't want to teach long. I wanted to move up the ladder as quickly as possible, and really believed that I would be in education my entire life. I loved school, I loved schools, I loved people, I loved teachers, I loved kids, I loved pretty much everything that had to do with school. I loved. And then at around year 15, I moved up in administration to the technology supervisor position, which what I didn't realize, but I realized very quickly, was that I didn't like the office type out of the school experience. It wasn't joyful for me. It wasn't exciting by any means. It just was not fulfilling. And so I knew the only thing left to do was to move up the ladder or move out. So the next step for me after supervisor would have been superintendent. And so I decided I was going to get my certification for superintendency. I was going to apply for the job, and I was going to aim for the superintendency. That was the only way that I knew to move up. I've always enjoyed a challenge. I love exciting things. I love solving problems. I love people, and I just had become very bored as the supervisor of technology. And so I knew that the only thing left to do was to move up or move out, right? So I got the degree, started politicking to potentially be in the superintendency. And one thing, if you're not familiar with the education realm, what most people don't realize, it's not necessarily what you know, but it's who you know and whose ego you're willing to stroke, basically. And listen, the higher you get up, sometimes it's just not fun trying to stroke the egos of people who think they know better, and a lot of the times just don't. And I quickly realized that I wasn't prepared to stroke the ego of the people that I needed to stroke in order to move up the ladder. I wasn't prepared to do it. I didn't want to do it. And I am all for working your ass off, doing the right thing, doing what's best for people, and good things should come to you, right? And that's kind of the Pollyanna positive attitude that I've always had. And so when the writing was on the wall and I realized it was not going to happen, I knew that I had a decision to make. And so 6.5 years ago, I retired from the school system, and this is the shortened version, because the long version is way more detailed. In February of 2019, I retired from the school board and had really no idea what I was going to do. But what I knew about myself was whether I was a cart pusher at Walmart or whatever the case may be, I would be the best one at it. And I was scared to death, but I was up for the challenge. And a couple of friends of mine actually over the years had said you should get into real estate because you'd be great at it. And listen, a huge difference between being self-contracted with real estate and education. When you're in education, there are good things and bad things. The good thing is, no matter how hard or how little you work, you're getting a check every month. You're getting a check every single month, which is one of the things that drove me crazy at the school board office, was that some people believe in, let me see how much work I cannot do in the given day and still get the same amount of money as someone who goes to work every day and works their tail off. They're getting the same check every month, right? Whether they do a little bit or they do a lot. And that absolutely drove me crazy. The great thing about real estate is the harder I work, the more clients I have, the more deals I close, the more money I make. And I am not afraid to work hard. I am not afraid to take risks. I am not afraid to learn new things because listen, I knew zero about real estate before jumping into it full force. So if you are, if you have never been in the school system, if you've never been in the education realm, I will tell you, the people who work the absolute hardest are the people who are in those schools day after day after day. Everyone from the janitor on up to the principal in charge of that school, they work their tails off. And if you've never been in a school system, you've never worked in a school system, you really have no idea the stress, the workload, the paperwork, all the things these people do behind the scenes that goes totally unnoticed. So if you are sending your kids back to school today, I hope that they have an amazing school year. And I say thank an educator, thank those people that are schooling your children and making sure that they are safe and that they are going to have a great year. Because listen, they are so underpaid. They are so underappreciated. It is a very hard job. I loved being in the schools. Absolutely loved it. What I didn't love was the politics, the paperwork, and a lot of times, to tell you the truth, those same whiny people who believe that their children did nothing wrong. Listen, I raised two boys. They're now 23 and 18, and a lot of the times they were at the same school I worked at, and my belief was this: those teachers are doing the absolute best job that they know how to do at that given moment, and my boys knew that those teachers were the queen of their classroom, and they dang well better do what that teacher said to do and follow the rules and do their work and keep their heads down and do what they needed to do to get through the day and to get through the year, right? And that's what they did. Because listen, when you work for a boss one day, the same premise applies. You have to follow their rules. And if you don't want a boss, then you go build your own business and do your own thing, right? It's not easy sometimes. It's not easy. There were many, many, many times where I thought maybe the teacher wasn't right. My children never knew that. They never knew it. So listen, y'all have an amazing 2025, 2026 school year. If you're an educator, kudos to you, because we all know it is a stressful, very sometimes underappreciated job, and we applaud you. Y'all, the kiddos going back to school today, we pray that they have a safe year and have a successful year. And remember this, in real estate, There are no stupid questions. If you have questions, do not hesitate to message me or call me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Y'all have a fabulous day. Take care.